Hey everybody, ronarray here, and I love smooth and chill league starters, especially builds that don't feel like a piano to play. So in this video I wanted to share an amazing, tried and true starter that's an absolute breeze to play, my Shockwave CYCLONE Slayer. You can start spinning as early as level 32, the progression is pretty straightforward and also scales well in the uber endgame, reaching huge damage. CYCLONE build has everything: chill gameplay, nice AoE, decent single target, and spinning, which is just fun. Since there are some changes being made in 3.29, in this video I'm going to cover all the adjustments to my PoBs and the build itself to help you have a head-spinning league start. Feel free to subscribe to the channel if you appreciate build updates like that one, and let's go! So first, at the moment we don't know how effective the mana efficiency is going to be overall. So I removed that modifier from all items in my PoBs. It's mostly affected like level 75 early maps and level 92 endgame, because I've been using it here and there to just improve the mana for the build. So at the moment I just got rid of those modifiers completely and wanted to showcase how we are currently working out with mana. So after those changes, the big part is going to be built around cannibalistic raid. Cannibalistic raid is going to give you more mana cost efficiency, and it's still going to give you attack skill cost life instead of 10% of mana cost. Second thing which could improve your situation is life mastery. So skill cost life instead of 15% of mana cost is going to help you tremendously. So in level 92 variation I'm aiming for about 7 mana cost per second, so we will be able to easily get that from our mana leech, and the whole situation should be pretty relaxed. However, if for some reason, especially while you're leveling or early in the endgame, it's not going to be too amazing for you, you can get additional small passives like that. Those are going to be changed in 3.29 too, but they're still going to improve your mana situation. So getting that one and that one together is probably recommended. At the moment, my mana cost is 9, as you can see, and if I'm taking 12% right here, it's lowering to 7. I believe that after the changes that GG is going to apply in 3.29, it's probably going to be closer to like 10-12 mana, we still don't know the values. However, I'm absolutely sure that if you will take all mana passives like here and here, it's going to be absolutely alright. As another option, you can also take the mana mastery too, and take reduced mana cost of skills. That one could be replaced with like mana efficiency as well, but absolute situation to fix your mana completely is going to look like that. So the next thing is impale. In the previous league, especially like 3.28, we've been using Cyclone of Tamal together with like level 1 impale on top of CYCLONE itself. That's been helping a lot with getting high % chance to impale enemies. However, right now Mirage completely got rid of that option, so we can't get free impale on our CYCLONE anymore, even like at higher levels. And there's like a few approaches for that. First off, we're still taking like brutal skewering, we're still taking like harpooner, and I believe that around level 92, instead of just going for endurance charges damage bonus for like around 9%, we're going to take merciless skewering to make sure that we can maximize our chance to impale and maximize our DPS that way. The charges when you're playing CYCLONE are still coming from Smash and Strike, so 10% chance to gain an endurance charge on melee critical strike is going to guarantee when you're attacking you always have endurance charges up. And that way impale is just going to be a very nice damaging bonus. I also added like implicits for my gloves. It perfectly should be 30% chance to impale, but like 15 or 20 based on your budget could be a pretty nice idea when you're reaching the endgame. So in the uber version, instead I'm currently going through the raid and taking forceful skewering just to get that impale back, because we needed to maximize the damage. That way we're not spending points to reach merciless skewering anymore, and instead, in like late endgame, you're going to maximize the chance to impale enemies on hit with attacks on your gloves. That's playing a pretty big role, so getting that implicit is very important right now. And at lower levels, so around like level 75, we can reach both. We can get like forceful skewering and we can get merciless skewering as well to maximize our impale chance. The only thing to keep in mind, since you're not going for Disciple of Unyielding, in level 75 version we still have like Precise Technique. So while you have the Precise Technique up, don't forget about getting Inexorable, that way you will always have Endurance charges up, even before you will be able to swap to Crit and get to Smash and Strike. So like, as you can see around level 75 we're dropping Precise Technique, and we're swapping to like endgame variation of the tree when you don't have Precise Technique at all, and instead you're using like Smash and Strikes, Crit, and stuff like that. Make sure when you're taking more like critical notes and you have more like a critical weapon, you're dropping Precise Technique, because that way you're going to deal more and more damage. So the rest of the build is practically stays the same. However, I believe that in the current situation, crafting the body armor is recommended to do as fast as possible. So just to get socketed attacks have minus 20 to total mana cost, and ignore stance while using socketed attacks is going to be significantly more important compared to what we had before. So I'm going to add the video on how to craft that body armor in the pinned comment and in the video description too, check it out. And if you're going to play the Cyclone, try to craft that body armor as fast as possible. And on top of that, I also decided to add one more like version after the Uber, it's maximized version. That version is just based like on the Mage Blood, with more damage, with a little improved items in general. So if you're maximizing the Cyclone every league, I think that variation could be like pretty interesting for you because of how exactly it's working. It also has a tremendously high effective hit pool, even if like max hits are not that high, so you just relying on like evade, block, and other options like that to maximize your survivability. The rest of the versions are practically staying the same. You can still swap to the Cyclone around level 32. You can start with like splitting Steel, then swap to Thunder, then swap to Cyclone, and after that just smoothly progress as Cyclone. While leveling, I believe just going to the right like Precise Technique, taking Fire Mastery for a pretty huge increased damage bonus against like ignited enemies could be pretty nice, and campaign should be very smooth at Cyclone. And since even like an Uber version, you're not using too many uniques, you're practically using like Stampede and Abyssus, I think it should be pretty easy to build a Cyclone right now, and prices shouldn't be too high. Also, since there's like a new currency for Legion, I believe that using it on Stampede is going to be a good option, and it's probably going to rise the value of having Abyssus in the build. However, like as I mentioned multiple times, and as I mentioned in the guide as well, so if you feel squishy, you can drop Abyssus from the build completely, just use like a rare helmet instead, which should be absolutely fine. But I believe with the new Legion currency, which can add like particular bonuses to Abyssus, Abyssus is probably going to play a bigger role, so if you're not afraid of dying like occasionally nor playing hardcore, Abyssus is probably still going to be the way. Especially if you will be able to get something cool for it, especially like frenzy charges, for example, because at the moment to get frenzy charges, especially like in the last version, you can only rely on getting like a blood rage up. So it's not working that amazingly for bosses because there's nobody to kill and you can't generate it properly. And another small change that I added is the situation with a chaos resistance. So at the moment at level 92, I'm still using Light of Minion to maximize our chaos resistance, so to get like about 62% of it, 68 actually, and to get like 75 of it. However, in the Uber endgame, when you have like cap block, I don't really believe that chaos resistance is too important. So to get your damage even higher, I believe there is a point to just swap to Light of Minion with increased physical damage, especially since in the league itself, I don't really think there are going to be too much chaos damage in general. So just getting Light of Minion with physical damage is going to add a pretty significant part for it, and it's going to feel pretty nice as well. The only thing that I also can add in terms of tattoos, in the later versions of the build, especially like in the Uber and Maximized, you can just focus on getting like block tattoos, and another cool option is effect of your mark tattoos. So those can add particular like critical multiplier bonus, so could feel pretty nice for the build if you're trying to maximize your damage. Don't shy away from tattoos in general. I don't add a lot of them in level 96, I did only some block ones, and in level 92 there are like barely any at all. So try to get block tattoos as early as possible because they're usually rising in price later on. I hope your Cyclone start is going to be as smooth as always, and you will enjoy spinning that league. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time. ronarray out.